So for those of you who aren't familiar, the VSA of Texas sponsors a course for disabled veterans where we can talk about those issues and write about things that matter to us, et cetera. So in that light, our instructor Cicely one day said, I want you to write a poem, and I wanted to start with Sometimes I Wish I, and so we kind of built on that. So here's what I came up with. Sometimes I wish I was back in the front seat of that car when the acceleration of the GTI engine pushed us all back into the new leather seats as we four friends rocketed through the winding roads. Brightly colored fall leaves swirled up in clouds in our wake, AC/DC blasting from the oversized speakers. That was the life, how it should be. Free and healthy young men, the world before us. A crisp Friday afternoon, finished with another intense couple of weeks living outside in the cold Virginia woods, learning the fine art of military combat. We were now faced with the prospects of 2 days of adventure, punctuated by new bars, laughter, and girls as enthralled with us as we were with ourselves. We've been graciously granted a temporary reprieve from the overwhelming task of learning how to efficiently kill and break things, and the constant drumming that how well we learned would either save lives or cost them. And with our poor performance of the past few days, almost certainly cost them, or so we were told. Cold and wet and bone-tired, words of discouragement rang true from the grizzled teachers. They were gods to we novices. We sought their nod of approval, any sign of satisfaction with our efforts. They rarely came. Each of those hard men emphasizing what their little block of instruction on how to assault an enemy bunker or patrol through an Asian village would be the only important thing to remember when you were inevitably there. We were always thinking about there, that unicorn situation, that perfect vision scenario of being starkly alone in combat with 36 young lives dependent only on your skill and effort. And as if that wasn't enough, the added burden of 200 years of Marine Corps history and judgment which would fall upon you if you failed. Those concerns were momentarily pushed to the back of the mind as if by centrifugal force as we rocketed down the back roads in a celebration of being tested and at least surviving to move on to the next set of killing skills to be learned. The weariness of cold, wet woods and exploding self-confidence being the trophies that we carried with us in our search for fun and lovely young ladies to experience the weekend. And most of all, ignorance of the fact that we would need completely different skills when that crucible would come. That concepts of honor and effort fall under the weight of bureaucratic sludge and the 1,000 cuts of necessary compromise over our lives. That many of us would bury good Marines under our command decades later, no matter how well we learned to kill the enemy in the Virginia woods in 1985. Don't get me wrong, dear reader, we would save many lives too and do good things for those who can't fight for themselves. But it would cost a piece of our souls and luxuries such as families to make the journey. And if given the chance, we would go back and do it again, every one of us. Thank you.